yeah, his love for running was insane. I remember when I was younger, from a young age, he would take me on runs around our house. Sometimes, occasionally, Mum would join, but halfway through she would stop. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts, yeah. That's when he taught me consistency and stuff, helped me continue swimming and stuff like that. I would also like to say, especially with him studying us, he used to, I remember, I think once we said we enjoyed pancakes. I think one day he made pancakes every Saturday. After that, he'd make pancakes all the time until we got sick of it. So that just really shows you the person that he was. In general, he was a great person to talk to. Obviously, we spent a lot of time in the car when he'd take me to school, swimming, or like pick me and my friends up. We'd spend a lot of time talking and discussing. I think it was really nice to have that person to talk about with anything emotionally, education and stuff like that. He was very much there for support. And you would think that my dad, very professional person, obviously he was loves doing well in the work that he had, but he was had a side to him that I feel like I did bring out every now and again. He enjoyed to take pictures in the times when people around him, when there was chaos, and he was just the light in the chaos. And just in general, he was the light of my life, and I'm gonna miss him a lot, but I'm gonna try and remember all the stuff he did for me. Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much, Chennai, for those beautiful, kind words. Before I ask my Chaza, do we have the RRW, the Women's Fellowship for United Methodist? Maybe you can come forward, one short song. Okay. Or maybe when you're just standing there, just one little short song, then we'll call on my Chaza to come forward.
be standing here to celebrate my husband's life. I want to try and celebrate it in style, because Tiri was unique. He did things differently from everybody. He always went out of the ordinary. For example, he was not the typical African man who expected me to to give him food or serve him food. He was a typical, he was different. When he did things, he would put 100% in everything. In actual fact, 150%. On the 4th of January, I was given an opportunity to teach a topic for the church up north. And it was management of the terminally ill. This was Saturday, the 4th of January. I did it with such passion because I said that is something which I love. It's a topic I love to talk about. And for us, minority groups, I said there are things which we are not doing for our families, for our friends, and so on. It was such an amazing hour. Little did I know that on the Thursday, I'll be taking my husband to A&E, and we would come back loaded with a diagnosis of colon cancer with liver and lung mets. I remember this day clearly, and the cry, I cried, and I thought, God, why did I do it? Did I wish him bad? But then I thought to myself, maybe it was him preparing me. Every time I took care of him, I saw him deteriorating the 7 weeks. I was thinking of the things that we discussed. There was so much I actually learned, even though I was teaching that topic. Anyway, we digress. I met Tiri, like Tapu said, in 1996 when I was teaching at Marlborough High School. Tiri was different from everybody. He always said, don't expect me to shower you with the lyrics. But he always showed in his actions. So I was a new teacher. He was the senior teacher, and he managed to get me onto the basketball teachers, though I'd never trained basketball before. He took it, he actually decided he would take care of me, so he would invite me to basketball trips, and that's when I actually experienced his skill. And I think that's what attracted me more. I would watch him coach. He had such passion for basketball. Anyway, we then got married in 1999, and of course we had 2 children. The one thing I know is I married a calm man. He was intelligent, and I mean very intelligent. A man who would proofread assignments, regardless of you're studying nursing, you're studying science, you're studying whatever. He would proofread with such accuracy. And of course, I would spend the whole night correcting everything that I had to do. And I would occasionally tell him off. I said, why do you treat me so unfairly? I'm your wife. You shouldn't be writing all these comments. And I have to spend an hour, the whole night, trying to correct this assignment. Surely there's a better way. I said, you treat me like everybody else. But honestly speaking, when he did it so well. And you knew that at the end of this, when I've done my corrections, I'll get a good mark. Like I said, he was an intelligent man. I know that Tiri loved me He had his different ways of showing his love. People who remember, he would cook for us. I know some friends actually remembered whenever when I did nights and I couldn't attend functions, he would make sure that he takes a lunchbox for me so that I don't have to worry about cooking food before I went back to work. When I met him, basketball was his life. In fact, I was told it was his first wife. At first I felt very jealous because I felt I was not his priority. And I remember he said to me, "Please don't make me choose between you and basketball." And then I had to embrace, as that was Tiri. He loved basketball. He spent time planning his sessions, his coaching sessions. And I also married a man who was consistent. He was committed to whatever he did. He was committed to his family. He was committed to his work. I used to call him a workaholic. I said, "You do realize you fall under that class of workaholics." He used to work, and when he did his work, he made sure that he did everything that he was supposed to. He planned his holidays around his work, not the other way around. We were supposed to travel to Cape Town, and the dates I said, "Look, this is a time to just let your hair down and we can go and enjoy Cape Town." He said, "No, I can't do that because I've got students writing an exam and I can't let other people invigilate for me and sort out problems. I will do it myself and then I'll come afterwards." That's how devoted he was. He taught me some life lessons, that life is not black or white. There's some gray areas. I think that was the biggest lesson in my life, because I think the way I grew up, life was black or white. You couldn't have the gray areas. He said, "Look, if you look at my life, there are some times when things went so black or white." He was selfless. He did a lot for us, for other people. If anything, I became very impatient with him sometimes and said, "You need to concentrate on yourself and concentrate on your family." But that wasn't Tiri. He was a hard-working man. He loved to cook. And those who remember, he loved to do a good barbecue. He loved to entertain. Those people who had a chance, a few cases, we had a barbecue or you held a barbecue at their house, Tiri would literally take over the barbecue stand and he would shine. Like I always said, you would always shine. Like Taku said, life was not always rosy. We had our moments, but the one thing he always said when we fought is he said, "Remember, you and I make a good team. We work well together." At that time, I think I would sort of agree, but grudgingly. But that was Tiri. He always tried to make things simple. Whenever I was stressed, as you can tell, I would get stressed by little things, couldn't find my car keys. He always said, "Oh, I know you know, just relax. Enjoy something else, and I know you'll find your keys at some point. They are somewhere where you've probably put them somewhere near, so don't worry about it." And for sure, true to Tiri's word, that would be the case. I'm saddened that Tiri went through the illness. Sometimes I blame myself and I say, as a nurse, I should have seen these things and I should have pushed harder. Because he always said, "You don't give up, do you, sometimes?" You push and push, you need to know where to stop sometimes. And I think in this case, I probably should have done that on his behalf. And sometimes that haunts me. And I think I should have pushed. He went to see a doctor because he had been losing weight. And they put it down to his diabetes. And he said, Roy, remember when I was put on tablets the last time? That's what happened. I lost weight and I lost my appetite. And I was content with that. Now looking back, I think maybe I could have done better. But then at the same time, I realized that this is God's will. Tiri, in the last few years, has been living a life of, I think he was like, he had a timer, and he was looking at his timer, and he was trying to achieve certain things before he went. I didn't understand it, and I think, if anything, I was irritated by the projects that he was starting. And I said, we are getting old. I'm over 50, you're over 60. We need to slow down. We need to really slow down and start to live life. He said, life can be lived anytime, Bruno. Let's live life now. As some of you may know, he started a farming project, which I was actually surprised by the turn. And he spent his time in his study room planning what crops to grow, and calling home, making sure that work was done and things moved as he had planned. But unfortunately, we plan, men may plan, but the Lord orders our steps. He then fell ill in January. But that didn't stop Tiri planning. He made sure that he planned everything. He made sure that he gave us instructions. At times it was a little bit hard to think that he would go, but we knew that would be the case due to the nature of his illness. But I thank God today because he gave us time to correct things which we had not done, to make up for where we could have done better. We were given that opportunity, though it was short, but I was given that opportunity. I want to thank you all for coming to be with us. This has been a difficult time, and I'm glad that I was able to talk without crying. Those who know me, I do cry, buckets of tears. And Tiri always used to just walk away when I start crying. And I would say to him, you're walking away. I'm crying, I'm expecting you to. And he said, no, I'll walk away, and then I'll come back when you stopped crying. So now, I have to live and start to plan life without my dear husband. On my 40th birthday, he said to me, those who remember who attended that party, he said, Rulo, let's grow old together. But unfortunately, I don't think 62 is old enough. I was thinking we would grow old together to a point where we have walking sticks, Zimmer frames, you know, and we are reminiscing. But the Lord chose differently. I thank you all for coming. May the Lord bless you. Thank you.
Mashita, my Chaza. In Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I will ask, I'm not sure how many people we have who will be speaking on behalf of the Chaza family, if they can come forward for a few words. I'll just kindly ask everyone who will be coming forward, maybe to just keep it slightly short. We are currently now running out of time.
Hello everyone, I'm Chaza, and I am first cousin to Uncle Tiri, and Mama Tiri. And I will just give an overview of our family. And I'm actually proud for hearing my nephew, my niece, and my sister-in-law talking about Mkoma Tiri's life in such great light. And he will be proud of you, and I am also proud of you. And I also want to thank Mr. Petros, who gave an account about his basketball life. I remember going through, and I remember that life when Uncle Tiri was so much invested in basketball, so thank you. So, I'm his cousin, and our parents were born 5 of them, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. So my dad was the older brother, and Mkoma Tiri's dad was the younger brother, second from last. We are such a big family, and Mkoma Tiri is side of the family. My uncle's family, I think there were 15 of them. And from my dad's side, 22 of us. So if we were in Zimbabwe, I don't think I would be standing here giving a speech, because there will be 10 more people older than me who will be lining up to give a speech. But I thank everyone for this opportunity, because we are here in England, so I'm going to use the opportunity wisely. So, being such a big family, sometimes we go through life knowing each other intimately or not knowing each other, because it's such a big family. I grew up at my mom's side of the family, and Uncle Tiri from in and out the Chaza side and his mom's side of the family. But the time when I started living with Uncle Tiri, I finished my O-levels, GCSEs in Zimbabwe. I'd gone to a boarding school, and then coming back home, I realized that my dad had sold our home where we were living and had moved somewhere else. And I had to go to Harare and look for a relative who I could live with, so that I could look for a job. So whilst doing that, I hopped from one household to the next, trying to find a home where I could start this second journey of my life after finishing O-levels. And I had met other relatives who would house me 3 months here, 6 months here. And then eventually I ended up in Marlborough. So I went there, and I got to Marlborough, and I met with Mom, Uncle Tiri's mom, and his sister, who is now late, Mara. And I said, I've come here I need somewhere to stay whilst I'm looking for a job here in Harare. And they said, yeah, it's all right, but you need to talk to Mkoma Tiri. And he wasn't there. He was doing his basketball thing. So I was told that he will be, because it was after school, so, but he stayed over at school. He was teaching at Marlborough High. So they told me that you stays over after school, teaching, training basketball for Marlborough High students. So I walked there to Marlborough High, and I was looking for him, and he wasn't there. He had gone to another basketball thing.
So I went back home to Marlborough and I said, well, I went there, but he had already left to another basketball venue. But eventually, I came back another day and I spoke to him, and he said, the first question he asked me is, how many GCSEs do you have? Then I said, I have 8. And this came as a surprise to me because all the other relatives I'd asked to live in their houses, no one had asked me about my about the O-level that I'd got. And here he is asking me, this was the first question, how many O-levels do you have? So it came as a shock. And then years later, I reflected on it and I said, well, he's the first person who actually realized the potentiality of my brain, and I was proud. So he said, okay, so when can you come? Then I said, well, I could have come like yesterday. So he said, just go and pick up your stuff and make sure you bring your certificates. And yeah, that's how I moved to Marlborough. Uncle Tiri's way of thinking about things were not emotionally entangled or involved. He looked at the facts, he looked at the truth, and he would say the truth will never change, so let's not worry about that. Facts, this is what we are dealing with. And if he saw there was a need to help someone, he would be there to help. Tiri was a mentor in my life. Whilst I was floating from one household to another in Marlborough, I found a family. Even though we lived in such a big family, like the numbers that I've given you, 22 and 15, sometimes middle children, you just get forgotten in the crowd, and you will not even be recognized. But he is the one who was able to, even in a crowd, you'll be able to pick that talent and be able to mentor it. So I started living at Marlborough. When I got there were two of these half-brothers who also came to Harare to look for jobs and also would go to school to Marlborough High. And one day he just brought a newspaper and he said, guys, Bafana, that's what he used to call us, Bafana, I brought this newspaper. It had all the adverts for apprenticeships, polytechnic positions, and he said, apply for anything. In life, you have to keep on moving. If you stop and you lose the motion, you are not generating your energy. So you need to keep moving. So here's the newspaper with all these adverts for new opportunities. I want to make sure that you apply even for 3, put your name for 3 places that you can apply for. So I applied for accounting because the school that I had gone to was a commercial-based, sort of, it was very strong in teaching commercial subjects. So I done well in commerce and accounts. And he was very keen as well for me to take that path since he was already teaching economics and accounts. So I did apply. I made my 4 applications into these courses. And I got one, which was structural engineering. And my cousin, Moses, he got one, which was, he got an apprenticeship. And so out of the 3 of us who were there, we ended up, by the end of the year, we had courses that we were already going into because of Tiri, because he saw the potential in us. He didn't look at how the family politics. He was not involved in that, in the family politics. He was not involved in the emotions that came with our big family. He was looking at the facts, and he was looking at mentoring us, and that is what he got himself invested in. So in 1996, he cleared us all out. I went to Blawayo Poly. I think Moses went to Chinoi, where he was doing his apprenticeship. And Frank, I'm not sure where Frank went. And then I realized that he was clearing us out so that he could start his relationship. That's when he met me. So, yes, He was very intelligent and everything he did was calculated, wasn't it? So, yes, I was, we went different ways, but we always came home because Mom, Uncle Tiri's mom, made us feel at home, and we were all his children, despite that we came from different mothers and different fathers. Our brothers, our fathers were brothers. They didn't look at that. They were a different kind of family. I think that's where Tiri got it from his mom, to be welcoming. And Mom always say, "Mwana wa chief, anga goita say, pamba chief